Everybody wants abs. So how do we get them and how do we keep them? First thing is first, abs will only show when you are lean enough and they will grow when you train them. You put both of these together, that is how you get abs. So in this video, I'm gonna be going over at what body fat percentage you need to get to be able to see your abs, what your diet should look like so you can successfully do a cut and lose the weight to reveal your abs, and what movements to do that will actually help you build the muscle in your abs. And then I'm also gonna give you some recovery tips. And everybody has abs. The only role that genetics plays is in the amount of abs that you have. So let's say that these are your muscles right here. Whether you have a 2, 4, 6, or 8 pack, this is the only role that genetics plays. I was gifted with a 6 pack. I physically cannot get an 8 pack. Everybody has abs. If you cannot see them, you just have a layer of fat covering them. And the game plan here is very simple. First thing is first, you have to get lean at a steady pace. You do not want to be losing 10 pounds a week. That is just not sustainable, and you're gonna feel very weak and you're gonna have no energy. The sweet spot here is to lose 1 to 2 pounds every single week. That's sustainable. You're gonna be feeling strong and you're gonna have energy. And the second piece here is progressive overload. All of these circuits that you see online, where they're having you do 100 crunches, 100 V-ups, 100 flutters, they do not work. They are just cardio. Like, let me put it into an example for you. If I was over here to do bench press and I just had the bar and I did that week after week after week, am I gonna build muscle? No. The only ab movements that we should be doing are ones that incorporate weight so that you can build the muscle and progressively get stronger every single week. That's how you build muscle, okay? And then the last part here is you need to have a plan that is repeatable and easy. Something that you can go into the gym and do it every single day. Because if it's not repeatable and it's way too hard, you're not gonna stick with it. And that's the number one piece here, is you have to just show up. Now, how lean do we need to get to be able to see our abs? For a 4-pack, you're gonna need to get to about 10 to 12% body fat. For a full 6-pack, you're gonna need to get to about 8 to 10% body fat. Now, these numbers do not matter. When you look at the scale, that should not dictate if you're moving in the right direction. You need to be taking pictures every single day, look at them every single week, because I used to be 215 pounds and I did not care about what the scale said. If I looked in the mirror and I was moving in the right direction and I felt like I was looking better, indirectly the scale would be moving down. So don't focus on the number on the scale so much as to how good you look in the mirror. That's what really matters. If you're progressing, that's going to give you the motivation. And now this is how you properly set up a cut so that you can lose this weight and eventually reveal the abs. First thing is first, you need to do your body weight times 15. That will give you your maintenance calorie. And then once you have your maintenance calorie, whether it's 2,000, 2,500, maybe even 3,000, you take that number, you minus it by 500, and that is going to put you in a 500 calorie deficit, which is then gonna allow you to lose these 1 to 2 pounds a week, which is what we're shooting for. That's gonna put you in the sustainable spot to consistently lose this weight long term and eventually reveal your abs. Now, the most important part here is getting 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. This is going to keep your metabolism high so that it doesn't slow down. That means that fat loss is gonna slow down, and it allows you to keep the muscle that you have so that you're burning fat instead of muscle, and you can keep getting stronger every single week. And now the second piece is carbs. We only wanna have these around training time. They are going to be our fuel so that we can perform properly at the gym. But carbs also make you hold on to a lot more water, making you seem more bloated. So we want to keep these at a minimum, but time them around the training so that we have the proper energy to get the things done every single day that we need to get done. And now finally, fats. We want to keep these down to a minimum. They are going to fill the rest of the space, but you want to take your body weight, divide it by 3, and that is the amount of fats that you should eat in grams per day. We want to keep them down to a minimum, but obviously whatever this number comes out to is what you should be eating per day. And finally, the most important piece is just keeping it simple. You just want to have a rotation of meals that you can just go through so that you're not having to make 1,000 decisions. Just have like 3 set out meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner so that you can just go through them and you're not making so many decisions around your meals, which is then going to make you burn out and not follow your meal plan. The piece that ties this all together is getting your 10K steps. This is great for recovery and burning fat, but the way that you get these steps is very important. You want to be doing it by walking. This will keep you right in the fat burning state, which is about 135 beats per minute to about 155 beats per minute. This will help you burn fat and not burn carbs. And it also helps with recovery by getting blood flow. Whenever you do jogging, which is a no-go, this is so hard on your body that you have to recover from it. When you're walking, it actually helps your recovery. Jogging hinders recovery because you have to recover from it. And when you're jogging, it pulls from your carbs. It keeps you way above this state so that you're no longer burning fat, you are burning carbs, which is not getting you closer to where you want to go. Once you have all that in place, you need to be doing weekly check-ins. Okay, you want to be taking pictures of yourself every single day so that every single week you can look at them and see if you're moving in the right direction. And you also want to track your weight every single day. If both of those are stalling, the pictures are stalling and the scale is stalling, then you either need to bump the steps up or you just need to drop the calories just a little bit. But this is a great way to check if you're moving in the right direction every single week. So now I'm going to show you guys what I eat in a day. It's very repeatable and something that I can stick to long term. So for breakfast, I stick to protein only. I have 4 eggs, just some healthy fats, some good protein, no carbs because I don't want to have brain fog and I don't want to feel like shit. This just gives me energy to start getting through the day. And then my pre-workout meal, I stick to 2 rice cakes and a banana. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. 2 rice cakes and a banana. You throw some honey on top of it, a little bit of salt. It is the perfect pre-workout meal so that I have energy through my workout and I get a great pump. Once I get back from the gym for lunch, I have 1 pound of ground beef. This right here is the cornerstone. It is great for my recovery, gets my protein in almost 1 meal, has over 100 grams of protein. And then I'll throw a kiwi on the side. I limit carbs here because I keep that for dinner so that my body can use it for recovery overnight. But this is what I've been eating for lunch for probably the past 6 months. And then for dinner, I have a rotation. I always have potatoes. It is by far the best source of carbs that you can possibly get. And then I rotate between these 4 things. I either have shrimp, steak, salmon, or chicken. I have potatoes and I throw one of these 4 things. I go in a constant rotation, keeps my protein high. I get all my carbs, bam, protein, protein, carbs, carbs. It is the perfect day to make sure that I hit all my macros and I just have energy throughout the day and I continually be in my cut so that I'm losing weight consistently. You can copy this exact day, but this is exactly what I eat. It's very repeatable and something that I can do long term. When it comes to eating out, I rarely eat out, but when I do, this is exactly what I do to make sure that I stay on track. The dinner that I was supposed to eat, I would just match it with the dinner that I'm having at the restaurant or wherever it is. Or if I know that I'm gonna splurge and I'm gonna eat a lot more calories than I have set out for myself, I would just have a smaller lunch, skip the dinner, make sure that these 2 equal each other. So at the end of the day, my calorie goal is the exact same as it would have been if I would have just ate my meals. Now that we're on to the movement portion, these are the only 2 movements that I do, and they are the only 2 movements that you need to do in order to build your abs. To begin with, I only hit them 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hit them every second day, and you wanna make sure that you keep it in 2 sets of 8 reps, going to failure. This right here is how you build the muscle. Just like every other exercise, you gotta make sure that you take it to muscular failure because that's where the muscle will grow. I only do these 2 movements here. Hanging leg raises and cable crunches. Both of these you can add weight to so that you can keep doing them for a long time and keep making sure that your abs get stronger. The proper way to do hanging leg raises, you hang on it, make sure that your body is completely straight, and you either bring your knees up to your chest or you keep your legs straight. You can add a dumbbell in between your feet when you bring your knees up, or you can just put ankle weights on. Either one works. And now cable crunches, you get on a cable you have the either whatever attachment it is, you have it right by your ears and you go down just like this. You want to make sure that you bring your chest like into your belly button. You want to curl like a question mark. That is the perfect way to do them. And these obviously are on a cable so that you can just keep putting the weight up every single week as you get stronger. These are the only 2 movements that I do, and they are the only 2 movements that you need to do. All right, so once you have the nutrition in place and you have the ab movements in place, the last piece is recovery. Now, the first thing on the list is sleep. You need to be getting 7 to 9 hours in one solid block. You do not want to be taking naps because those don't enter deep sleep, and the recovery is when we get into that deep sleep mode. So just have one solid 7 to 9 hour block. And when it comes to caffeine, so that you can have good sleep, you need to cut it out 8 hours before bed. And you need to have no phones an hour before bed. So make sure that you cut the caffeine 8 hours, phones an hour, have a good nightly routine in place where you go take a shower, do your skincare, read a book, journal, whatever it is. These 2 are very important. And then the last piece is water. You need to be getting at least 1 gallon in per day. It helps with nutrient transportation and to make sure that you don't have no headaches, migraines, whatever it is. Water is very important for your recovery. So make sure that you get a gallon in and spread it out throughout the day. You don't want to have clear pee. That means that you chugged too much water and you have too much in your system. You want to have yellowish pee. That is the perfect spot to make sure that you're drinking enough water per day. Now, finally, supplements. You don't have to take a lot. The basic ones that I would recommend you take is creatine. That's a staple in every gym bro's supplement stack. And then if you don't get enough fatty fishes in, I would recommend you take fish oils. These are the only 2 supplements that I would recommend you take, just the basic ones. This right here is how you get perfect recovery every single day. And now finally, the most common mistakes that I see people make is they try to spot reduce fat. You physically cannot target a specific place on your body like your lower abs. You can't specifically target that spot. That's why you just simply have to get lean. You have to stay committed to losing weight throughout a long period of time so that you can lose the fat everywhere and just have an overall good physique and eventually see your abs. And then the second mistake that I see people see leading on to that is crash diets. You need something that you can do long term. You do not want to drop your calories 1,000, maybe 1,500, cut carbs out completely. It's not sustainable, and you need something that you can do long term. Because let's say you do go on a crash diet, you do lose about 20, 25 pounds, but the rebounding from that is going to cause you to just gain the weight right back. You need something that is sustainable, that you can actually do long term. So that's the full game plan. You have to get lean at a steady pace. 1 to 2 pounds a week is the sweet spot for being able to stay consistent and do this long term. Second, you need to train your abs with progressive overload, with weight, with the movements that we spoke about before. No more of doing these circuits that you see online, 100 crunches, 100, they do not work. Third, keep your steps high, improves blood flow and burns fat at a very rapid rate. And then you need to be sleeping like a king. You need to get those 7 to 9 hours because deep sleep is where the recovery is. So you need to have your sleep on point so that you feel great every day, so that you can stay consistent with all of this. And at the end of the day, you just need to be patient and track your progress. You need to weigh yourself every day, take progress photos every day, just compare them. That's gonna give you the motivation and the discipline to keep going week after week, because when you see that progress, it's gonna be like, yep, let's keep going. We're closer, we're closer. So just stay patient, track your stuff, and I promise you, give it 8 to 12 weeks, you will be a completely different person. And if you're ready to stop guessing and you want to follow a proven plan that's going to get you from point A to point B, I'll leave a link in the description where you can book a one-on-one call with me. We'll see where you're at right now, where you want to go, and if it's a good fit, I'll start building your plan out right away. I also post daily tips and workouts over here on my Instagram if you want to go give that a follow. Also like and subscribe. I'm going to be posting 3 of these every single week. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.